Hello, my name is Rossella and today I'm going to do the D paper included in this book, More Music Theory Sample Papers, published by the ABRSM in 2021. If you haven't done it yet, click on the red button there and subscribe to my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Theory Virtuoso, and Instagram, Theory Virtuoso. And don't forget that you can always visit my website, theoryvirtuoso.com, where you can find all the videos that I publish. There are music theory videos, tutorials on discovering music theory published by ABRSM, musical quizzes, past and sample exam papers by ABRSM, and piano tutorials to improve your piano performance too. Thank you for watching. Bye!
The first section of this exam paper, grade 5, starts with rhythm. We are asked to circle the correct time signature of the given bars. As usual, I always recommend to look at from above and see what catches your eyes. The group of things are important because grouping is important. It tells us the movement of the conductor, it tells us the counting, it tells us the beating, the pace. So many things are included in the time signature, and the time signature really affects the grouping. So I'm seeing one group of things here, one group of things here, and then separate items. However, if I see here better, I can see 3 quavers, I can see 3 quavers, 3 quavers, and 3 quavers. So 4 groups of 3 quavers. Now, if we are not mistaken, we should have 12 eighths as one of the options, and here it is. 4/4 it can be because it's simple time, and 3 quavers don't match, because in simple time we have 2 subdivisions, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and every number and a hand is a quaver in case of 4/4. In compound time, the subdivisions are 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Therefore, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now here, if the double dot is confusing you, you only need to pair up the value where the double dot is with the next to the next one. So the value that follows the quaver is a semiquaver. Next to it there is a demi-semiquaver, and here it is. So just think of the values in order: semibreve, minim, crotchet, quaver, semiquaver, demi-semiquaver, hemi-demi-semiquaver. That will do. Okay, so anyway, 12 eighths. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Next one. Let's see the groups of things. I see one group, and this is already telling me that we are in simple time. Another group, and some separate items. It feels very long. Here we have a crotchet. I think we can reduce this to crotchets. So let's see how many crotchets we have. We have one here, because 5 semiquavers as a quintuplet equals to 4 of the same kind. So 4 semiquavers equals 1 crotchet. Another crotchet is here. Another crotchet is here, quaver plus quaver. And another crotchet is here. How many crotchets? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/4. That's the answer. It can't be 7/8 because this is an odd number, which means that we can't. So in this case we have 10 quavers, and here there would be 7. So it can't be, they don't match. And 4/4 it means 4 crotchets, so we have 1 extra crotchet here, so it can be 4/4. Next one. Okay, this is interesting. This really catches my eye. It feels to me that a dot is missing, but it isn't. It isn't, I'm afraid. This is, look at this, a quaver semiquaver, semiquaver, demi-semiquaver, semiquavers. Look at this. This is 1, 2, 3. It is an unusual compound time, but in reality, I'm telling you that this is not unusual. This is just in 16th. So in this bar, we have 6 16th, 6 semiquavers. So we have 1, 2, and 3 here. And then we have 1, 2, and 3 here. There you go. So one more time, let me tell you, the denominator, so the lower number, tells us the value of each count, and the numerator, the upper number, gives us the number of counts. In this case, we have 6 semiquavers, 2 crotchets, 3 quavers. This is how you should read them. And by the way, the best way, let me circle this. And by the way, the best way of understanding this is by learning the values with the fractions. So the semibreve is not 4, but it's 4/4. The quaver is not a half, but it's 1/8. The semiquaver is 1/16. It's not 1/4 of a crotchet. It is a quarter or a crotchet, but in this case, if we learn it that way, we don't understand the denominator in the time signature. So this is why I recommend to start learning just with the right fraction. I hope this is useful. Let me know, and let's move on to exercise 2 now. In question 2, we need to identify which bar is the equivalent of the given bar correctly rewritten in simple time. So we have a compound time and we need to rewrite it in simple time. First of all, time signature. We can't do this without analyzing the time signature. We have 9 quavers in a bar, which means that we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 quavers. Now this means that this is a 3 movement bar, and these 3 movements must be echoed in the simple time signature. Otherwise, we just change it. So obviously we need to have a 3 on the top. Now, which one is the simple time? The simple time is the one that has 2 subdivisions, 1 and 2 and 3 and. So we need to have a 4 underneath. And the one has a 4, the ones that have 4 underneath are just these 2. This is incorrect already. Plus, look at this is wrong. It's totally wrong. We are supposed to have 3 quavers in a bar, but look at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That doesn't make any sense. So 3/4, one of these 2. Okay, the duplet sign becomes 2 quavers without any signs. The 3 quavers don't fit anymore in the simple time with just 2 subdivisions, so we need a 3 on the top, because it means the 3 quavers don't fit in 1 and, but they do fit perfectly in 1 and. You see that I'm saying the subdivisions 1 and, whereas in 1 and simple time we don't have 3 spaces, okay, and we need to create them by adding these triplet signs. This is basically equivalent to 2 tickets for a fun fair for 3 people, and then one crotchet plus a quaver. This is a triplet, okay, 1, 2, 3 quavers, and then this means that the same figure is with a triplet sign. So we need to have simple, triplet, triplet, so duplet, triplet, triplet. And here we have 1 triplet, but not here. This is teasing us, but this is the right one. So that's the answer. This is important, guys. You can understand this if you reduce this into 3 quavers. Here it is, 1, 2, 3. And for the same reason then they don't fit in 2 subdivisions, they wouldn't fit as well. In simple time, we should have had this only, one crotchet only. Otherwise, it's wrong. It just doesn't fit. It's too big. 2 tickets for 2 people, not for 3. I hope this is useful. Let's move on to exercise 3. Here we need to complete the sentences by adding a number. In 9/4, so 9 crotchet in a bar, there are a certain number of dotted minim beats. Okay, this is a compound time. Why? Because we have a number that is divisible by 3. So this means that we have 1, 2, 3 crotchets, 1, 2, 3 crotchets, and 1, 2, 3 crotchets. Now, each group of 3 crotchets is equivalent to a dotted minim. Therefore, we have 3 dotted minims with this time signature. Where's the trick here? That we don't see this as a compound time, but it is. It's just that every count is a crotchet. That's the only thing. This is the equivalent of 9/8, but with 9/8 we have quavers here instead of crotchets. But otherwise, this is a simple. This is not a simple time. 9/16 also we would have semiquavers. This is important. 9 is key because it tells us that it's 3 plus 3 plus 3. A breve is equal to a number of quavers. Okay, the breve is double the semi-breve. Semi is half, in fact, means half. So breve, semi-breve. In order, by the way, guys, I need to tell you this because in the English translation, the values are a little bit confusing for me because they break the pattern. So we have breve, semi-breve, minim, and then the crotchet, in fact, is called semi-minim. So, breve, semi-breve, minim, semi-minim with the name of crotchet, quaver, semi-quaver, demi-semi-quaver, hemi-demi-semi-quaver, which means half, half, half. So, again, breve, semi-breve, minim, semi-minim, quaver, semi-quaver, demi-semiquaver, hemi-demi-semiquaver. I think this is much better, and I just don't know why the semi-minim has been translated with crotchet. Anyway, the quaver is 1/8, right? This is the best way of doing this. The quickest way is 1/8, which means that 8 quavers would form a semi-breve. Okay? It's because it's the one part of the 8 in 8 slices in which the pizza semi-breve has been cut. Given that the breve is double the semi-breve, we need 16 quavers, right? Easy peasy. Now, this system allows you to answer this question without calculating anything at all. You just need to do 8 times 2 because the breve is double the semi-breve and 8 quavers would form a semi-breve. So you need 2 of them to make a breve. Does this make sense? Are you happy with this system, or do you want me to calculate everything? I'm not keen at all on making it more complicated, guys, sorry. Anyway, let me know. Let's move on to exercise 4. In question 4, we need to tick the box that shows the bar that is grouped correctly. And this is one of the key topics in music because grouping, as I said, tells us a lot. So let's have a look. 4/4 means that we must have 1, 2 crotchets on a side, then the middle of the bar clearly indicated, and then 1 and 2 on the other side. These 2 crotchets can't be merged. into 1. Unless there is a syncopation. Okay, that is correct. For example, if we have this, okay, this is a syncopation and it can be, yes. But in any other instances, we can't. So where do we see the middle of the bar? There, here it has disappeared. So goodbye to you, I'm afraid. Here we do have something in the middle. Here we do have something in the middle. So let's see what is different between these two. The dot here. The dot is always paired up with its half, the half of the value where the dot belongs to. So where is the other half of a quaver? Also, notes need a companion, the other half. Let's say it's this way. Yeah, they need their partner. Where is it? It's here. And then 3 semiquavers? That's an odd number, and it's really odd in music. So I think that this is wrong. And look at here, we have 1 crotchet, 1 crotchet, 1 crotchet, and 1 crotchet. So guess what's the right answer? Aha, this one here, where everything is nice and tidy. I'll give you some time to reflect. Can you tell me if your answer was correct? Thank you. Question 5. Here we need to tick across the boxes to indicate whether the rests have been added correctly or incorrectly. So we need to be the teacher of an imaginary student, as I always say. We are in 4/4, which means, let's say that again, that we need to have 2 crotchets on a side and then separation and 2 crotchets on the other side. If we don't have this 4 counts, the conductor will struggle to show the 4 movements, and so the orchestra will struggle. Such a shame. So we have 1 crotchet here, 1 crotchet here. Here is all even because we have 1 quaver, and here the other crotchets. So all correct here. And here's the example that I did. This is a syncopation because we have a crotchet, a minim, and a crotchet. But the syncopation can't include rests. The rests need to be indicated clearly because this is confusing. And in an orchestra, we wouldn't see the equivalence of things in other instruments in an orchestral part. So this is incorrect. Here we have 1 crotchet, 1 crotchet, 1 group of thing, and then another crotchet. Now, why did I say here 1 group of things? This is potentially correct because they don't merge 2 and 3 together. But look at here. This doesn't add up correctly. This is a dotted quaver, and the partner that is missing is a semi-quaver rest, not a quaver. Otherwise, there is a dot that is more. There is a semi-quaver, which is the dot. There is superfluous. So this is incorrect. And with this, I have finished the first section of this D paper. Let's turn the page together. This second section relates to pitch. And here I have the best tip for you. Go and watch my videos 1A, 1B, 1C and 1D linked in the description below or on the card up here. They will tell you how to read confidently, fluently and very quickly in all the clefs. 7 clefs, because this is the amount of clefs we have, 7. This is the tenor clef, and the tenor clef is treble clef -1. Please go and watch them. They are not long, they are very lightly presented, and they really make you understand my points here. This note in treble clef would be La, A, -1, Sol. The answer is G. Alternatively, you can always count from middle C here. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. This is G, because this is middle C. Sorted. Exercise 2. We need to take the enharmonic equivalent of this note, F. Okay, keyboard. F. This note here, fa, could be mi sharp or sol double flat. Do we have mi sharp here? No, but we have sol double flat. So here's the answer. Are you happy? Do you have any questions? You know that you can always comment this underneath, please. Please do so. Question 3. We need to tick across the boxes to show whether this bar written for trumpet in B flat has been correctly rewritten at written pitch. Transposed a major second up, because this is in B flat, so it's a tone below middle C. First of all, the key signature. This is in F major or D minor. It doesn't matter because they do share the key signature. So let's say F major. Okay, plus one tone. Okay, a major plus one tone equals G major, and G major has one sharp. So this is correct. Now let's do the keyboard, shall we? I hope it is not too short. No, it's perfect. Okay, do becomes re, just one tone above. Correct. La here becomes B flat. No, not really. Natural. 2 semitones. So this is incorrect. Fa becomes sol. Yes, correct. And sol would become la. Correct. So we have only one mistake here. Cool. Are you happy, guys? Do you have any questions? Let's move on. In this question, we need to compare the 3 bars and circle true or false for each of the statements. Okay, to answer this, you would need to know my memorime. If the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? And you can find this in one of my tutorials on music theory. Please do go and watch them. You can also find me on Facebook, Theory Virtuoso, and Instagram, Theory Virtuoso. And if you go onto my website, theoryvirtuoso.com, all the links are in the description below. You can find all the videos that I publish, including these ones. Okay, middle C in treble in bass clef is here. Middle C in treble clef is down here. Middle C in the tenor clef is here. So let's observe. These two are the same. This one is an octave higher because this is middle C. So this version here is an octave higher. With these observations, I think that I've answered all the questions, but let's do them properly, shall we? A and C are at the same pitch. Yes, I've just said that because this is middle C. So they are exactly on the same position. B is 1 octave higher than C. Yes, I've just said that because in the tenor and bass clef, the bar is written here. In treble clef, we can see there is an octave higher. True. A is an octave lower than B. Yes, because if this is higher than this and they are the same, yes. So interestingly, this time we have 3 true statements. It rarely happens. Let's enjoy it. If you're happy, let's move on to the next page. Relating to keys and scales, a very important topic in music. This first two questions asks us to tick the key signatures of B flat minor and B major correctly written. To answer this, I strongly recommend you to watch my videos 2A and 2B published in my website and on YouTube. You can click on the links in the description below or on the card up here. In these videos I tell that the key signatures with flats always have this zigzagging descending shape. Where do we find it? Not here, because the pattern is broken. Goodbye. Not here, because we're missing this first thing here. We start on this one, so not in the tenor clef. Not in the bass clef, because this breaks the pattern again. And we find it here in the alto clef. And look, we've answered the question without even looking at the flats. But this is B, yes, because middle C is here, so one note below is B. Si, mi, la, re, sol, do, fa. Big elephants, 8 dinosaurs, goat, cheese and figs. In the case of the sharps, the shapes are different. We have one for all the clefs and one for the tenor clef. So the clefs, the other clefs use this shape, and the tenor clef has a zigzagging ascending scale. Okay, we have the shape here, we have the shape here, and we have the shape, well, we don't have the shape here, no, because this should be higher. The second curve is higher, so we can exclude this one. And on this one, yes, we have the shape, but look at this breaks the pattern, so this is incorrect. One of these two is wrong. Why and how do we know it? Well, the order of sharps is fa, do, sol, re, la, mi, si. Fun coloring gigantic drawings after eating breakfast. So where is F? This is D. Re is not fa. So here you go. The correct answer is the alto clef. We have 2 right answers on the alto clef. Interesting, this paper. It's tricking us. Anyway, that's all done for you. I hope that your answers were the same as mine. Let's go on to exercise 3. In this third question, we need to circle the correct key of the 3 melodies. Now, this is a bit laborious because we need to go through a few passages, but if you follow them strictly, you'll be all right. So, first of all, you need to know the order of sharps and flats. Fa, do, sol, re, la, mi, si, mi, la, re, sol, do, fa. You can relate them to a nonsensical phrase, fun coloring gigantic drawings after eating breakfast, big elephants, 8 dinosaurs, goat, cheese and figs. You can do anything you like, but you need to know this, not the circle of fifths. Okay, so once we know this, I can write it down. Fun coloring. So fa, do, sol, really. Fa, do, sol, re, la, mi, si. And then the flats, si, mi, so backwards, yeah? Si, mi, la, re, sol, do, fa. Do, fa. Okay. Now let's see, let's mark the sharps. We have do sharp, and we have fa sharp, and we have G sharp. That's it. When we have 3 sharps, I think this is a major key. So from the last sharp, we go 1 semitone higher and we find the key. And in this case, G sharp plus 1 semitone is A major. You see, as simple as that. It can't be D major because D major has only 2 sharps. D minus 1 semitone is C sharp. It can be G sharp minor because G sharp minor is the equivalent, is the relative minor of B major, and B major minus 1 semitone is this is A, so it has 5 sharps. E major minus 1 semitone is D, has 4 sharps, so some sharps are missing here, or one is superfluous. So A major is the only possible answer. Next one, we have flats and the bass clef, so watch out. We have B flat, Mi flat, La flat, and B flat is repeated. So we have 3 flats. With the key signatures with flats, we go to the penultimate flat, and this is the key. So we are in E flat major, as simple as that. We can't be in A flat major because A flat would have 4 flats, being A flat the penultimate key, the penultimate flat in our key signature. G minor is the relative minor of B flat major and 3 semitones above. This is how you find the relative major. And B flat has 2 flats, not 3. And so this answer is also incorrect for the same reason. Just 2 flats, not 3. Okay, sorted. The next example has sharps, so let's clear up the space for our last answer. We have G sharp, we have Re sharp, Do sharp, B sharp, Do sharp, Fa sharp, and Re sharp. Okay, guys, when there is a gap, it means that this is the leading note. And B sharp is the leading note of 1 semitone above C sharp minor. Here it is. C sharp minor is the relative minor of E major. E minus 1 semitone is D, and this is the key signature of C sharp minor or E major. Now, the gap is because the key signature is this. This is an added sharp to create the minor tonality. We need the semitone below to have the leading note. Otherwise, it isn't the leading note. It's just in the key signature. But the leading note is not in the key signature, in the minor keys. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So it can be E major because we have B sharp, which is the leading note, and I circle it. It can be F sharp minor because F sharp minor would have had E sharp, the leading note. And it can be A major because A major has only 3 sharps. Sorted. Now guys, many of you have told me that this system is really making things easier for you. Can you let me know, please? And if you have another system, also let me know. Thank you very much. Exercise 4. In exercise 4, we need to complete the scale, ticking one of the notes that show the correct one. And we need to create G sharp harmonic minor. Okay. G sharp harmonic minor is the relative minor of B major, and we know this because we just go 3 steps above, so 3 semitones. So G sharp, La sharp, B. B major. B major has, so B major minus 1 is A sharp, so B major has 5 sharps: Fa, Do, Sol, Re and La, because B minus 1 semitone is A sharp, so A sharp is our last sharp in the key signature. We are in bass clef, but never mind, you can write the note names here. So Sol, Fa. What kind of Fa do we have? Okay, Fa is sharp. Yes, great. However, in the harmonic scale, the 7th degree is raised, and so from Fa sharp we go to Fa double sharp. So that's the answer. To create this kind of augmented second between 6th and 7th and the semitone between these two. Let's go on. Fa, mi, re, do, si, la. We need an A. Is A sharp? Yes. Isn't the key signature sharp? That's it. Why can't we call it B flat? Because we need an A. We already have a B here. Now you know what we mean when we say like, oh, what are the enharmonic equivalent for? There you go. For scales, chords, tonalities, and many other things. Are you happy with this? Let's turn the page. This fifth question asks us to identify the clef which would make these three scales minor scales, and this is very important. So it is a bit laborious because we need to go through every single clef to identify the right one. Never mind. We compensate these longer questions with very quick ones. So okay, we have many flats. First of all, the order of flats and sharps. Fa, do, sol, re, la, mi, si, and the sharp and the flats are backwards. Si, mi, la, re, sol, do, fa. Fun colouring gigantic drawings after eating breakfast. Big elephants ate dinosaurs, goat, cheese and figs. You can create your mad sentence yourself and send it over to me. Now let's see, in the treble clef, this scale would be D flat minor. Now D flat minor doesn't exist because the relative major would be Fa flat, F flat minor, major. It doesn't exist. It exists as E major and Do sharp, C sharp minor. So we can exclude the treble clef. Similarly, we have a supposed F flat in the bass clef, but F flat minor doesn't exist because that would be the relative minor of A double flat major. It doesn't make any sense. Goodbye. In the alto clef, which is treble clef plus 1, this D flat will be in fact E flat. Now E flat minor is the relative minor of G flat major, and G flat major has lots of flats because G flat is the penultimate, right? So we have all these flats, 6. And look at here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the one that is repeated. So this is a scale of E flat minor. It is the natural scale, so it's a melodic descending scale or natural scale. The answer is the alto clef, but let's exclude the tenor clef, which is treble clef minus 1. In the tenor clef, this will be Do flat, C flat, but C flat doesn't exist. Because it would be the relative minor of E double flat major, which it's a nonsense. So the answer is the alto clef. Great. Next one. An ascending scale, we already see is an augmented second here, so this is, I think, a harmonic scale. If it has the treble clef, this would be B. Now B minor is a relative minor of D major, which has 2 sharps because D minus 1 semitone is C. Now the 2 sharps are here, Fa and Do, and this is the leading note and the 7th degree raised. So I think this is B minor, B harmonic minor ascending. Let's exclude the other ones. In bass clef, this will be D minor, but D minor has flats. In the alto clef, treble clef plus 1, this will be Do. So C minor is the relative minor of E flat major, and it has flats as well, so no. And in the tenor clef, treble clef minus 1, this will be A minor, and A minor is the relative minor of C major, and it doesn't have sharps unless it's the leading note. So goodbye, and the answer is the treble clef. There you go. It wasn't too bad, wasn't it? Not too long, actually. If the treble clef is the answer, this note is La. Now, A minor is the relative minor of C major with no flats, no sharps, so this is not possible. In bass clef, this would be Do. C minor is the relative minor of E flat major, and E flat major has 3 flats here. Now, here are the 3 flats, so this could easily be a natural scale or the melodic descending scale. However, let's exclude the other options. Treble clef plus 1, the alto clef, so this would be B. B minor has sharps because it's the relative minor of D major and it has sharps, so no. And with the tenor clef, we would be treble clef minus 1, G minor. G minor is the relative minor of B flat, and B flat has only 2 flats, not 3. So this flat is too much. And also they are not here. G, F flat, no, impossible. Fa flat, no, that's impossible. So the answer is the bass clef. That wasn't long at all, but it's just because we're using the right technique, guys. So I think that this is helpful. Can you let me know, please? Thank you very much. Let's move on to question 6. Here we need to circle true or false, depending on whether the chromatic scales are written correctly or incorrectly. First of all, the keyboard. Easy. I'm not sure this is too small. I hope not. Okay. Sol, Fa sharp, Fa natural, Mi, Re sharp, Re natural, Do sharp, Do flat, and B. That's already a mistake. This is false. We don't need to go on. We found a mistake. Sol, Fa sharp, Fa natural, Mi, Re sharp, Re natural, Do sharp, and then Do flat. So there is a gap here. No. Let's have a look at this one here in the treble clef, in the alto clef. So Do sharp. If you're not confident with reading in the alto clef, just put the note names on the top and don't forget the sharps, okay? Okay, Do sharp, Re, Re sharp, Mi, Fa, Fa sharp, Sol, So sharp, La, La sharp, Si, Si sharp, and Do sharp. This is correct. True. Let's do that again. Do sharp, Re, Re sharp, Mi, Fa, Fa sharp, Sol, So sharp, La, La sharp, Si, Si sharp, Do sharp. Perfect. Sorted. We can move on to exercise 7. That was quick. In this question 7, we need to circle true or false for each of the statements. The supertonic, so the second degree of D major, is this note here, which is Mi, because Do plus 2 equals Mi. So I think this is correct. Re, Mi. Yes, absolutely. The leading note, so the 7th degree of A minor, is the semitone below, so sharp. Yes. The subdominant, so the 4th degree of A flat major, is Do flat. That's impossible. A flat has 4 flats, Si, Mi, La, Re. Okay? And Do is not included, so this is false. How come? Impossible. I hope this makes you happy, especially because your answers were also correct. Let's move on to the 4th section relating to intervals. In this first question, we need to identify the interval and then tick the box to show the answer. Okay, first of all, keyboard. Okay, let's count. This is B flat, okay, B flat and Do sharp, bass clef plus accidentals and key signature. Now, C Do sharp is more than an octave, so this is a compound interval, okay. Now, we need to simplify it by writing one of the notes close to each other, so close to the other one. So I would just put this down, otherwise you can raise this up, it's the same. Now we have a simple interval, B flat, Do sharp. Okay, first of all the number, Si, Do, it is a second. Now a major second from B flat would be a tone away. So that would be Do, but we have a sharp. So it's not major, but it's augmented. Now this is a compound augmented second, or is it 2 plus 7 is an augmented ninth. This is it. It can be a third, because with a third we should have had an enharmonic equivalent. So for example, D flat, that would be well, not augmented but diminished, but never mind. Okay, so first you reduce the compound interval to a simple one. Then you calculate from B flat the major interval and see if you are more distant or closer, longer or shorter. Okay, let's go on to the second one. We have a massive key signature here, but it doesn't matter. We only need to name this note sharp, G sharp and Fa double sharp. Okay, now this is a 7th. Okay, I have 2 ways of telling you the answer, and I'll go for the quickest one first. The leading note is a semitone below the tonic, and in this case G sharp and Fa double sharp are a semitone distant, which means that this is a major 7th. So the answer is major 7th. However, I have also another system for you. We flip the notes over, and Fa sharp, Fa double sharp, I put it over here. Now what kind of second this is? G sharp and Sol double sharp. Sorry, G sharp and F double sharp. It is a minor second, which means that if we flip it over, it becomes a major 7th. Okay? And the leading note is a major 7th away from the tonic. That's for sure. Let's move on. We have a compound interval here. It's clear. And we have Re and B flat. Okay, let's reduce it into a simple one. And we have a 6th. Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. Now, to identify these, the 6th, we can flip them over and create a, well, I'll do it here actually. a simple interval. B flat D is a third. What type of third? 1 and 2. This is a major third, which means that if we reflip them over again, we have a minor sixth. So, because this is a compound interval, we have a compound minor sixth, which is not listed because it's a minor 13th. Is 6 plus 7 equals 13. So a minor 13 is the answer. I wonder if I went too quickly, so let me redo the whole thing again. So first we make the interval simple, and I have just put this D here. Okay, this is a simple interval. Now we flip them over and we calculate the type of third that we have. If it is a major third, it means that this is a minor sixth. And in fact, this is the case. This is a major third and a minor sixth. Now, because this is a compound time, it's a compound minor sixth, or you need to add 7 to find the real name, is a minor 13, and this is it. I hope this is useful, and I hope I didn't go too fast, but if you want, you can watch other videos. You go to all the other exam papers. You have 8 so far of grade 5. Have fun. Otherwise, drop me an email, leave me a comment, get in touch, and I will explain that again. Let's move on to exercise 2. In this question, we need to circle the type of interval, but to identify the type of interval, we need to find the number. So let's write the keyboard as usual. Oh my goodness, that is a bit long, I think. Okay. This is a fourth. Fa, sol, la, si. Now a fourth is perfect when it's 2.5 tones away. So let's count. 1, 2.5. Perfect. There you go. Again. 1, 2.5. Great. Second example. Do sharp. Don't forget, otherwise the calculation is wrong. And sol natural. This is a compound interval. Never mind, we just make it simple. Do sharp, sol is a fifth. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Now a fifth is perfect when it's 3.5 tones away. So let's count. 1, 2, and 3. Not 3.5. Let's count again. 1, 2, and 3. Which means that it's not perfect, but it's diminished. Next one, bass clef. So this is do and re. Now do re is a second and is a major second because we have a tone between them. So major. That was quick. Finished. I expected this to be a bit longer, but it wasn't. It means that we have found the right way of doing it. Okay, question 3. In this question 3, we need to write the interval and the note should be higher. This is important. Guys, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Theory Virtuoso. You can see the links in the description below. Or you can visit my website theoryvirtuoso.com, where you can find all the videos that I publish. Also, please get in touch. I love it. I love when you tell me something about yourself. Leave me a comment if these videos are helping you and let me know how the exam goes. Okay, perfect fifth. We need a keyboard. I will write it here. Okay, A perfect fifth from B flat. Let's count. Oh, first of all, the name of the note. This is important. We can't use enharmonic. Si, do, re, mi, fa, F. Now let's see if we need to put an accidental here. So from B flat, 1, 2, 3 and a half, F. Perfect. Again, 1, 2, 3 and a half. Brilliant. A major tenth. Now 10 minus 7 equals third, so a compound major third. Okay, we write first the simple interval and then we would make a compound. A major third from do sharp, by the way, sharp. A major is 2 tones away, so do sharp, 1 and 2. So again, 1 and 2, mi sharp. Now, mi sharp, an octave higher, which means this. Oh, I don't like when it happens. Sorry, guys. Anyway, that's the answer. Next one. Oh my God, what is this note? Well, let's count. This is mi, okay? Mi, re, do, si, la, sol, G. You can also do like do, mi, do, si in treble clef. Do, si, la, sol, fa, mi plus 2, sol. A compound diminished seventh. Oh my goodness. Okay. We swap it round and we create an augmented second from G. Now, an augmented second from G means that we have fa, flat, because we need to augment, we need to increase the distance from the major second to augmented. So fa flat. Oh, with all the... Okay, fa flat. Now, an octave higher, we put it higher. And this is the simple interval. Now, from here, we raise it up of another octave to make it compound. And this is done. So, in order, first we flip it over and we create, let's forget about this compound, okay? We create an augmented second. Then we found the note and we raise it up of an octave to swap it round and make a diminished seventh. This is still just a simple interval, so an octave higher to create the compound version of it. And then we rub everything out. Perfect. A diminished fourth from la. Okay. A fourth, so first the note la, si, do, re. Okay. Now a fourth, a perfect fourth would be 2.5 tones away. So 1, 2.5, re. But we need to take one semitone away, and so that would be re flat. We can't call it do sharp because we need re, otherwise we make it a third, a major third, basically. So, but it doesn't matter major, we make it a third. So again, la, si, do, re, and then minus one semitone, re flat. I hope this is useful. Please let me know. For now, we can turn the page and go on to the chords. Okay, we have 3 questions on chords. The first one asks us to identify the chords that come from the given melody, and they would ideally form a cadence. The possible chords are 1, 2, 4 and 5, and this is important because sometimes we might have a chord on 3, on 6, on 7, and this means there's something that we've done is wrong. So we need to be careful. First of all, the tonality, the key, and this is D major. C sharp plus 1 semitone is D. We start on D, this is a D major chord, we finish on D, so we are in D major as opposed to being in B minor. Now, let's identify the note, the chord notes. We have Sol, Si, and Re. And I think they are in order because it's one off, one on, one off, one on, one off. So, Sol, La, Si, Do, Re. The bass note is G, and Re and G are distant a fourth. Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. So this is the chord on 4. After a chord on 4, I would expect either a 1 or 5. Because 4-1 is the plagal cadence and 4-5 is an imperfect cadence. Anyway, well, let's see. Fa sharp, Re and La. And I think that if we put them in order, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, which means on, off, on, off, on, to make a chord like this. We see that the bottom note is D, so this is 1, is a plagal cadence. Next one we have Si, Sol and Mi. If we put them in order, is Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. Mi is the bottom note, and for D is the second degree. Next one, Mi, Do, and here we have a passage note, and the passage note here is B, and I say this because it's too close to Do to form a chord. Okay, so we need a note that is further apart. Sorry, Do sharp. Let's put them in order. La, Si, Do, Re, Mi. The bottom note is La, and it's the 5th degree on Re. Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La. So 5. I think that we have 1 because 2-5-1 is an extended perfect cadence, which is perfect for the ending of the piece. But let's have a look. Re, La, Fa sharp, okay, and Re is doubled, we don't write it again. In order is Re, Fa, La. Re is the bottom note and is also the tonic. So yes, this is an extended perfect cadence. Finished. Question 3. Okay, this question goes a little bit further than the previous one, but we've done that already because I told you the name of the cadences up there. So anyway, we need to tick the name of the cadence here. Other than that, it stays the same. So we are in F major, and the notes here are Fa, sorry, not Fa, Do, Sol, and Mi. Do is doubled, and in order is Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. The bottom note is Do, and Do for Fa is the 5th. Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do. So 5th degree. On the second chord we have Fa, Do, La, and Fa. Fa is doubled, in order Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do. Fa, tonic. 5-1 is the perfect cadence. Happy? Next one. G major. Okay, we have La, La, Do and Mi. La is doubled. La, Si, Do, Re, Mi. That's already in order. La is the bottom note, and for G is the second degree. The next chord we have Re. Oops, sorry. Re, Fa sharp, and Re. Okay, Re is doubled. Now we need to add another note. If we add B, for example, okay, so Si, Do, Re, Mi, Fa sharp, B for G major is the third degree, so it can't be, because we can't use a chord, a third chord, to create a cadence at the moment. So let's rub it out. It must be upwards. Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La. Re, Fa, La. Chord on Re. Re for G is Sol, La, Si, Do, Re, the fifth degree. 2-5 is an imperfect cadence. Anything to 5, basically. Imperfect cadence. Let's move on to exercise 3, which goes a little bit further from exercise 2. Okay, in this exercise we need to recognize the chords and identify the position. So if it's a root position or inverted. The key is E minor. Thank you for letting us know. Now let's identify the chords. We have C, C, Re sharp and Fa sharp. Okay, C is doubled. Si, Do, Re, Mi, Fa. That's already in order, and we have B as a bottom note, which means that the chord is on B. And for E minor, the note B is Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, the fifth. So this is the fifth chord. Now, do we have at the bottom of our chord, do we have B, D or F sharp? We have B. So this is 5A, also called 5. This is it. Next one, we have La, La, Do and Fa sharp. La is doubled, and in order it is Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do. Fa sharp is the bottom note. And Fa sharp is the second degree, okay? Now, do we have Fa sharp, La or Do as the bottom note of the chord? We have La. Therefore, this is 2B. Here it is. Last one, we have Sol, Si, Sol, another Sol, and Mi. Sol is doubled, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. Mi is the bottom note and of the chord, the root position, and Mi is also the tonic, so this is 1. And what note do we have at the bottom? Do we have Mi, do we have Sol, or do we have Si? We have B, therefore is 1 C. It's a preparation for the cadence, okay? 1 C, 5, 1. As you can see. There you go. Finished. Sorted. And I hope that this is does not look too messy, but it makes sense. Thank you very much for watching my video. Now let's go on to section 6. Terms and signs and instruments. The best way to remember them is to memorize them, but also be active and engaged when you have experience. For example, when you play a piece and you find one of the terms, try to remember how you play it. Try to engage with the meaning of it, and that will make a massive difference to your learning and to your memory, okay? That's my only recommendation here. Otherwise, it's just a memory thing, an experience. Con dolore is an Italian term for with pain. So grief, with grief. Vite is a French word to say lively, happy, quick. Okay, so quick. And ruhig is a German term for peaceful. Ruhig. That's it. That's all. That's all for me. Exercise 2 about ornaments. Okay, we have 2 ornaments here. And 2 written out ornaments, and we need to say the name of it. In this case, look at the shape of it. Is this. And this is a gruppetto, also called upper turn. Gruppetto. It has this kind of shape. And this one here is a trill because it's very long. Da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. Trill. Easy. Sorted. I have nothing else to say, guys. I'm so sorry. The upper turn would have this shape. The lower mordent is starting on the lower note and then it's short, 2 notes. Appoggiatura, just 2 notes. Well, 3 notes and then appoggiatura, just 2 notes. But not this quick. So, okay, question 3. Another group of questions to circle right or false depending on whether we agree or not with the statements, and it's all about memorizing experience, knowledge in general. So let's see. The violin can be played pizzicato. Yes, when it plucks the strings instead of using the bow, struck them with a bow. So true. The bassoon uses a single reed, and this is false because the bassoon uses a double reed. The bass drum produces note of definite pitch, and I'm afraid this is false because it's like a tambourine or something, so we don't have a definite pitch, is indefinite. The tuba is a brass instrument. Yes, it's very yellow as well, could be. And a tenor voice has a lower range of a bass voice, and this is false because the bass is the lowest bass, right? It means that it's low. Sorted. Sorry, I have not much to say on these exercises, but we can move on to section 7, which is about music in context. The first question in this 7th section relates to pitch, and we need to compare the 3 bars with bar 7 of the violin part. Let's have a look. We only need the first note. Bar 7, we have this note here. Okay, then we need to compare the 3 with this and tick the only correct statements. To answer this, we need to say this first. If the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? Middle C in alto clef is here. Middle C in the tenor clef is here, so this is an octave lower than this. Middle C in the bass clef is this, and it is same as A. And middle C in treble clef is down here. So, same, an octave lower, an octave higher. Only C is correctly rewritten 1 octave lower. No, it can't be because these are the same, so no. Only A and C are correctly written 1 octave lower, and this is the correct one because they are on middle C, and an octave lower should be on middle C. A, B and C are correctly written an octave lower. No, because this is also an octave further low, so that's the original. This is these 2, and B is down here in tenor clef. A and B are correctly written 1 octave lower. No, because they are at different pitches. So the correct answer is this, the second. Sorted. Exercise 2. We need to circle true or false after observing the score. The beginning of the music should be played heavily. Yes, because it's written pesante, and pesante means heavy. The lowest note in the left-hand piano part is G, Sol. Let's have a look. And this is incorrect because it starts on Mi, I, so incorrect. There are 4 notes in the violin parts that should be played with an accent. Well, how many are they? 1, 2, 3. They are 3. They are not 4, so this is false. The music begins with an anacrusis. Now, an anacrusis means that we're missing a complete bar. So it starts on an incomplete bar, and that is true because we start on an upbeat. So yes. There are 2 acciaccature in the music. Yes. We have 2 in the violin part. True. Done. Great. Now let's move on to exercise 3. And you know that if you have any questions, anything to say, please leave me a comment. Visit my website theoryvirtuoso.com, or also find me and follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Theory Virtuoso. Thank you. Let's see which other instrument can play the violin part so it sounds okay and it's not out of compass. Timpani, that's impossible because timpani is a percussion instrument and it's very low. It doesn't have so many pitches, so no. Horn, it could be, however, is a little bit too high, so it's out of compass. Trombone, it's impossible because it's big, so the sound, the compass is lower, much lower than the violin part. And flute, it can very likely be because it's similar to the violin. So the flute wouldn't struggle to play the violin part in this. Sometimes some pieces for violin can also be played by flautist, for example. I think I've mentioned it before, a Sonata in D by Prokofiev. Sonata in D by Prokofiev, yeah. Gorgeous piece of music. Then both flautists and violinists share exactly the same score. So the 2 scores are exchangeable, to be honest, and it sounds amazing with both. Okay, last 2 questions. How many times the dominant of A minor appear? Now the dominant is the 5th degree. La, si, do, re, mi. Mi appear. How many times? If we counted in the violin part, we find 9 of them. And the very last question of this D paper. We need to complete the 2 sentences by adding a number. The widest interval in the violin part is in bar 8, and it is a 5th. Otherwise, we have only thirds and 1/4 at the very beginning. That's it. And 4th between bar 5 and 6. So yeah, the 5th is the longest, the widest interval. Last question. There is a bar that contains the E major chord in first inversion, which means Sol, Si, Re, okay, E major, which means that in the first inversion, which means that we need to have So sharp, Re and Mi. Where do we have this chord? In bar 6. And with this very quick answer, we have completed the D paper. Thank you for watching, and please do stay in touch and let me know how your exam goes. Good luck. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you for watching my video. I hope it was useful. Don't forget to leave a like down there and share it with your friends. If it was useful for you, it will be useful for other people too. Now, if you want more sample papers published by ABRSM, click here and find the video you're looking for. In the meantime, I would like to thank all the ones who are messaging me and leaving comments. You know that I always read them and I always reply. And thanks to all the ones who are telling me that thanks to my videos, they have improved and feel more confident. This makes me so happy. What else to say? Happy music, everyone. Bye.